All right, ladies and gentlemen, for this assignment, you're going to have to draft a part in Fusion 360. So, if you don't have Fusion 360 installed on your computer, you can go ahead and click this little installation link, follow those steps on down the rabbit hole to get that installed. Or if you don't feel like doing that, you can always just click this link and it will take you to Fusion 360 in browser mode. And then it'll take some signing in, some work, and you'll be able to draft Fusion 360 in browser mode. You will have limited functionality in this, so if you can, just go ahead and get the desktop app. I have the desktop app, so I'm going to go ahead and start on that. First off, I'm going to start a new project here, and I'm just going to call that project POE underscore JG 22-23 because that's the school year we're in, right? Sure, why not? And I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to think for a minute, and then it's going to create that project folder. I'm going to double click it to open it. I'm going to create a new folder saying car. Now, all of my parts for this are going to be inside here. And I'm just going to create a simple design. You see, I haven't been happy with the wheels. I want to give you guys some more options for wheels. So I'm going to think about a little connector to connect an axle to your wheel. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to create a new sketch, and we're just going to put that on that nice XY system. I'm going to create a center diameter circle. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that the diameter of that circle, I'm going to want it to be, let's see, the whole of a CD is about 15 millimeters across. So I want that to be 25 millimeters. Okay. And now I look at that, that's just flat, right? I'm going to go ahead and extrude that by hitting E. And I'm just going to pull that up like, let's say 4 millimeters. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and I want to create another disc on top of this because this is going to be a disc. That part's going to be like a hub that sits against the side of the center of the CD. And then I want to have a little cylinder coming up through that center. So I need to create a new sketch and place it on that face. And I'm going to click here in the center, and I'm just going to type in 14 millimeters because I want this thing to go into the center of a CD. And now I'm going to hit E to extrude that again. And I'm going to make sure that I'm careful. Let's see here. Close that out to give us more room. I want to carefully hover over the center so it lights up, and then click to indicate that that's the surface that I want to extrude or draw out. I'm going to go ahead and just draw that out like 4 millimeters to make sure we got plenty of space there. There we go. Now, I'm going to want to have, gosh, what kind of an axle do I want? If I want gears, I should have a square axle through here in order to fit our little square axles. And those square axles are 1/4 by 1/4. I'm feeling I've had better luck myself with just 1/4-inch dowels. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new sketch on that surface. And I'm just going to create a hole lined up concentric with the center that is going to be 1/4 of an inch. So 0.25 IN. Boom. So now I've got that circle there. Jeez. All right. Now I'm going to extrude that circle. But instead of pulling it out like I've done with the other ones and creating a new body, I want to cut this. Okay. And instead of cutting it just a distance like I've done, I want to go all, because I want this to be a hole that goes all the way through it. Okay. So now, boom, I've got this little doodad thing that I'm going to be able to stick a dowel rod through and glue it to a CD so that way the CD will sit right up against this frame right there, and it should be able to ride in the center of that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I go File, Save. And something interesting is going to happen. Let me bring my browser or that thing back up. All right, I'm going to go File, save, and it's going to ask me to name it. I'm going to call it a CD hub. And then dowel. I'm going to click save. And then it's going to pop up with that. Ta-da, all done today. Now, if I wanted to export this for 3D printing, I would just go ahead and go File, Export. And what type of file? We need an STL file. Okay, now it says requires cloud translation, may require a few minutes. Click Export. It's going to pop up with this little window, and it's going to tell us how you're doing or how it's doing. It should pop up in the downloads folder, hopefully. Either way, that is how that part is done. That STL would be what you need to submit for 3D printing. So if you choose to go this route, here you go. I want one of these, or you can get one with a square hole so that way you can use gears and the VEX axles along with it. Hey, look at that. Showing Explorer. It's ready. So you see how it popped up in my downloads folder? Yeah. Now, that STL folder or file is what I would need for 3D printing. Hopefully this helped you out. And if you have any questions, let me know.